So, so the exhibition that you guys have sort of set up, how did it come about, and what's it all about?
So we've had a studio space together for about 6 months at the mill, and we've made a lot of work since we've been here, I guess. And we thought we might as well just exhibit it because it made sense to do that instead of just like hiding the work in our studio. That makes sense.
Yeah. I think you've got to come to a point where you've got to show the work and like get that dialogue between people looking at it.
It's good to get like people to see it, like strangers and people we know from here, and get feedback from them. So that's like a really useful thing to our practice, for people to tell us, like recommend artists to us or whatever. So yeah, and we've always kind of exhibited our work since we've started making work, I guess. It's like a natural progression.
Yeah, it's part of the practice, I think. Yeah. And
we don't really make work well, we do make work for ourselves, but it's nice to like show to other people as well.
Yeah, to put it in that like the context of an exhibition, I think it's important to have your work in.
Yeah, especially because we go to a lot of exhibitions ourselves, so that's important to us to have that reflection period as well.
And like I noticed a lot of the work, it's all very sort of like featuring a lot of big brands and stuff like that, and it seems to have like a bit of a message to it. What's the message behind a lot of it then?
I don't know, that's a big question.
Yeah, I guess like you're not the first person to ask, but I guess we don't see it from that angle. Not in like a pretentious way, but we make... I don't know how to answer that.
Well, I think for me, like the brand thing comes from like the interaction of like said place. So like the cost cutter stuff was because that's where I bought my lunch from at university. So that's where the prints came from, and like I always did my shopping at Lidl's. So I kind of became a bit obsessive with that.
Yeah.
And then like I eat McDonald's
every day.
Secretly eat McDonald's. So like there's that sort of thing. So for me, it's like, although they're big brands, it's like my personal interaction with them, and like, yeah, it's always been on a personal scale.
That's a good answer.
So that's sort of where it's come from. Like it's a weird obsessive thing, I think, but yeah, I really like that sort of interaction with it.
Artists tend to get obsessed with things as well, and I think that's a good way to channel it, like what Matthew said. Because I think with me, it's Matthew does it better than I do it, because I do it through like the class system. So like John Lewis is like a middle class thing, but then Iron Brew is like a universal thing, if that makes sense. So there's like the thing Andy Warhol said about how Coke is for everybody. Like you could be rich or you could be like really poor, but Coke's just the same. Like there's only one version of it, and that's something I guess I try and do with Iron Brew and politics. And yeah, I don't know. Just because it makes sense to us, but then it's hard to talk about what you've done.
Yeah, like the reasons why. But yeah, I think that's probably one of my biggest reasons.
Like personal interaction.
Yeah. I don't know if it's political, but then I guess like
all works.
Yeah, everything is political because like you live under a political system, so that is, I think, an underlying tone to it.
Yeah.
And has the work you do changed or developed in any significant ways since you stopped going to uni and found the space at the mill? Would you say?
Well, cost cut prints.
The cost kind of prints were produced at uni, but I think for both of us, we both started painting a lot more. So we both studied graphic design. So yeah,
I guess like in our final year when we met, we kind of realised the people we were looking at weren't graphic designers as such. They were artists. And a lot of famous graphic designers we like, even ones based at the mill who like teach at the university, don't really look at graphic designers as much. They look at artists. And I think being in a university environment where we were, by a lot of tutors, encouraged to carry on looking at artists and go to exhibitions off our own back, and opening a dialogue about art and graphic design. Having the mill space then meant, because we don't know whether we do art or graphic design, it could be different each day we're in here.
Crossroads of what we're going to do.
Yeah, it's nice to have that outlet as a studio to maybe paint one day, then make some, I guess, conventional graphic design the next day.
Yeah, I think when I paint as a graphic designer, and I make print work as a graphic designer.
See, that's interesting because I don't think I do that.